All right, hey, what's going on to you, Virgos? So you have the Ten of Pentacles, the Four of Pentacles, and the Moon. Let me show you these cards. By the way, if you'd like to get some personal readings from me, the link to that is in the comment section below. Click on it. Okay, there's a Linktree link in the comment section below. Click on it. It will redirect you to a website. It has all the ways in which you can support me. Really appreciate it if you did, so I can keep the show going. Thank you. So the Ten of Pentacles, the Four of Pentacles, right? And the Moon is all about how there's a sense of the Ten of Pentacles, right? Originally wanted to have somebody. Now pay attention to the Ten of Pentacles, right? The number 10, because all of this stuff will most definitely make sense. You wanted somebody to actually be able to share a life with and to build a life with. But the Four of Pentacles and the Moon represents, you realize that a lot of people are not trying to actually build anything with you, Virgos. A lot of people really want a finished product in you, and it really is quite stupid. So the Moon represents how you've had to really leave them alone because the mental illness was really a problem. Seriously, and the reason why it is I'm saying that is because people expect you to be rich at 9. The stupidity is real crazy, and they're so psychotic. They're not even looking at it from a perspective of that makes you look stupid. Don't say that, because on a world stage, that's making you look stupid. I'm talking about others, how they would expect you Virgos to have it figured out at a very young age. At 10, you got to be a multi-billionaire with a with a billion-dollar corporation that you actually handling at 10. And it's like, you're 10, unless you some sort of trust fund baby, where you coming from some sort of trust fund, or you studying business and stuff like this from a young age, to where you're actually getting tests like this, real world tests at home, where your parents actually want you to go out and achieve something at that age because they're prepping you for this at a very young age. How would that even truly be possible? You're so young to the point where you don't even know about business and money and all this other type of stuff and the importance of it. And being patient, but a lot of people expect you to have it all figured out at a very young age, which is completely unfair and psychotic and downright stupid. It really goes to show you how crazy a lot of people actually are, but they're trying to mask their psychosis, mask their mental illness in some sort of normal trend. It's like, no, this is just madness. And if the trend or what's trendy or what's fly is madness, then it's still madness at the end of the day. And the reason why I said pay attention to the number 10 is because of the Six of Pentacles. 4 of Pentacles and 6 of Pentacles. 4 plus 6 is what? 10, right? Which is what you got originally, the first card out of this reading. So the 6 of Pentacles represents they wouldn't give back. Right? This is part of the reason why you ghosted them in the first place. They wouldn't give back. Even still now, they wouldn't give back. They wouldn't actually show you any kind of consideration. The psychosis and the mental illness, people are becoming worse with this. They sound stupid. They really do. Try when they interact with you. The stupid stuff that comes out of their mouth is making them look bad. Other people, you are perceiving them terribly because of that fact, and they don't seem to understand optics. You should want to have a good reputation, at least with a certain amount of people. But it makes it harder when you're talking about how a 10-year-old, a 5-year-old, a 5-year-old who still has a pacifier, has to figure out a multi-billion-dollar corporation at 5, 6 years old. They got to figure it out at like 12. Like, what in the... So the Five of Cups now represents how And to be quite honest with you, they should have given you a chance because you don't want anything to do with them. The King of Pentacles and the Hanged Man, right? Hanged Man represent Pisces, pulling from the opposite polarity. But the King of Pentacles, right? And the King of Pentacles, the Hanged Man, and the Queen of Swords represents even still to this day, you still have people that underestimate you and put so much burden on your shoulders. And this is why they don't get taken very seriously, because you can tell that when you are really talking to them, they're on the short yellow bus. I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. They're on the short yellow bus. They're on the short yellow bus. They're on the short yellow bus. They're kind of, no disrespect, but they're kind of special ed, if you know what I mean, factually. Because the King of Pentacles, and you'd be surprised at how many special ed people are anyway. So you have the King of Pentacles and the Hanged Man. And why I'm saying all this in the first place is to not disrespect special ed kids. I knew a lot of special ed kids. I was friends with a couple of them. I knew them, right? What I'm trying to say is that, right, no discrimination on my part, right? What I'm trying to say is that these are people, my dear Virgos, who are not really mentally there, lacking in the mental department. Their mental health is really not there. And they're lacking that area, mental health, that is. They're not healthy mentally. And you kind of come to that conclusion as you participate with them, but they're masquerading like they are. And the King of Pentacles now and the Hanged Man represents just that, right? It represents how even still to this day, they can sleep on you. How so many people, like I said before, overlook you because the King of Pentacles is an asleep king. In this particular deck, this king is asleep. Pay attention. Eyes are closed, right? An asleep king, a king that is very much so asleep, not very much so paying attention to you or what's going on, even though that they should be. So this is past interactions. And the Hanged Man represents they should have utilized patience and see that you Virgos were already taking the steps to do something great. But if they would have just gave you a chance and stop it with the prejudice about you needing to be a finished product, right? You got to crawl through Dante's Inferno. You got to crawl through the underworld, so to speak, and climb out of that hole in order for you to actually get chosen and stuff like this. And they're the prize and all of this. This is not a Goji or a Gogi. This is not Roman Spartan type stuff where, you know, the prize is you get to call yourself a Spartan warrior and you get to have a family and all this crap. It's like, nah, like, that's not what it's about. And the thing about it is that the Queen of Swords represents how, and the Queen of Swords proves their prejudice. They're kind of spiteful and really disingenuous whenever it is that they're perceiving you. Whenever it is that they're perceiving you, they're judging you harshly, may I add, for things that really they really shouldn't, and they're charging you up for it. They're kind of pigeonholing you for it, right? They may charge you up for the fact that you're not 6 feet, right? You know, all this other type of stuff, or you may not be the prettiest person in the world, or you don't have long hair, or you don't have a nice booty, or maybe you don't have big muscles, all of this and all of that, and they're really charging you up. But the Eight of Wands and the Death card represents, but you Virgos are doing fine, though. You're doing fine. You're not knocking people over, robbing anybody. You're not down bad. You're fine. You're living your life. You're doing what it is that you got to do. You're fine. And the reason why it is, and I'm saying that in the first place, is because of these two cards. You know, Virgos are survivors at the end of the day. So it's like, you know, like I said before, the mental illness is a real thing though, because I don't know if you a Virgo, you could see it. I don't know about y'all, but for me, some people think that create this false narrative. I'm doing bad, and I'm just like, I don't know where you're getting this from. So let's clarify the moon, right? Like, the Magician, the Justice, the Queen of Wands, and the Devil. Yeah, like, yeah. The Magician represents Virgo, Mercury, the Justice. You would skedaddle. You would get right out of there. They would try to paint a narrative about how you're no good and how you're doing bad. Or you worthless because you're not living up to a person's delusion. And people will kind of catch you in the sense that you doing your own thing outside of their interaction, and they would come to the conclusion that they're stupid. But the thing, because you Virgos are well off, but the Queen of Wands and the Devil represents they have to keep the lie alive. This is them trying to essentially save face. They have to keep the lie alive. They have to, nah, that's not the truth. You still terrible. And it's like, okay, like this is obviously a lie. And that just would make them worse. And what I mean by that is trying to get to know other people. They would really scapegoat you. You Virgos are not tall enough. You're not handsome enough. You're not pretty enough. You don't look like this. You don't look like that. You ain't got enough money, right? This, that, the third. Why it is that you're not good enough. Okay. Then when they see you, they catch you, right? They happen to see you. Maybe you live in the same neighborhood. You live around each other, right? Proximity. And they see you, or they go by your house, so they see you. And it's like, okay. Now it's completely not like the propaganda that they put out. But they telling a lie because they still have to roll with the narrative of, well, you Virgos are dusty and bummy. But this is what I mean, right? Because once again, Aquarius and Pisces rules mental illness. Uh-oh. I shouldn't have said that. Some people not going to necessarily like that. But Aquarius and Pisces rules over mental illness. Cancer, Crab, and Libra as well. But the home of that stuff, the source of it, even though Cancer, Crabs, and Libras also deal with mental illness, the source of it is Aquarius and Pisces. Because, zodiac signs share different traits and stuff like this. And the reason why I'm saying that is because, remember, Virgo, you're the opposite sign of what zodiac sign? Pisces. So a lot of times y'all can draw to you a lot of people, because a lot of y'all be thinking I'm capping when I say the mental illness. No, I mean it. A lot of y'all got some people around you that would be real gone. They expect you to have things figured out at 10. So let's clarify the death card. Four of Cups, Seven of Swords, Page of Cups, Page of Swords. After this batch, I'm gonna start drawing 5 instead of 4. The Four of Cups, to clarify the Death card, the Four of Cups and the Seven of Swords are really about, and it would become confusing on even their part. And a lot of you Virgos are leaving the confusion behind. You don't want confused individuals around you who are delusional and all this other type of crap. So this is part of why a lot of you would be hermits in the first place. The Page of Cups and the Page of Swords, you know, but yet, you know, just know people are still going to find some sort of reason, some way, somehow, to still be upset at you Virgos for no reason. So overall, I see you Virgos are very much so getting to know other people, still talking, but choosing to be way more of a magician and a hermit. I see a lot of you Virgos knowing your lane and sticking to it, in the sense that not trying to outdo or showboat too much. You know, Leo is a zodiac sign that can do that type of stuff and get away with it maybe. But for you Virgos, you very much so have to remain understated, keep things on the low, get your bread, stay out the way, don't really be in too much of the spotlight, because there's always going to be somebody there that's going to try to tell you why you shouldn't be confident, right? But to alleviate all of that, to get through all of that, to remedy all of that, you really want to stay away from showboating in the first place, you know, because everybody needs to be right. So many people need to be right. You know, when this person has a $500,000 car and you pulling up in a Honda Accord, a Prius or something like this, and everybody laughing, ha 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 ha, you pulling up in a Honda Accord. Gee, I didn't know that we were comparing liabilities. Just because you have a fancier, more expensive liability doesn't mean that it's not a liability. That car is still a liability. It's not an asset. So I didn't know that we were comparing liabilities. But whatever, that's neither here nor there. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe.